Tonight, meet a demon that doesn't roar or claw, it just wears you. On a clay tablet from ancient Mesopotamia, in the poem later called Ludlul bel nēmeqi, I will praise the Lord of wisdom. A man describing sudden illness says an Ulu demon clothed itself in his body like a garment. He's awake, but the world won't connect, eyes open, yet he can't truly see, ears open, yet nothing lands. Then a heavy sleep drops over him like a net, and his limbs stop obeying. That image is our first payoff, and our first hard clue. Whatever the Ulu was in Mesopotamian thought, it was tied to nighttime fear, helplessness, and the sense that something foreign had moved into your skin. Now the twist, the Ulu usually isn't given a dramatic origin story. It appears the way real fears do, in lists, in diagnoses, in, if this happens, do this next, ritual instructions. The scribes who copied these tablets weren't writing horror for fun. They were trying to name a threat, then push it back out of a living body. In some anti-witchcraft rites, the speaker throws the attack back at the enemy. An evil Ulu seized me, may an evil Ulu seize you. That's not metaphor. That's an accusation with teeth. So what was the Ulu, exactly? A demon, a symptom, or a label for the moment your body locks and your mind stays on? Let's separate what the tablets show from what later tradition guesses. To the Mesopotamian exorcist, the āšipu, demons weren't only monsters. They were causes, forces that could sit on a person, scramble speech, steal breath, or drag the mind into fog. The Ulu belongs inside that working world of medicine, ritual, and night experience. Across big compendia of incantations copied for centuries, the Ulu appears beside other named troublemakers, the Udug-hul, restless ghosts, and underworld agents like the Galu. Many of these texts survive in first millennium canonical copies, often bilingual in Sumerian and Akkadian, a clue that they were studied, taught, and reused, not improvised in panic. One Udug-hul incantation stacks the threats like a roll call: evil Udug-hul, evil Ulu, evil magic and sorcery, then calls for them to be smashed like a pot. That's the sound of ritual trying to break a night terror into manageable parts. Name it, isolate it, undo it. And undo could mean more than words. These rites might pair spoken formulas with cleansing actions: water, smoke, touch, offerings, anything that turned an invisible pressure into a sequence a trained specialist could perform. Later reference works summarize the Ulu as a night terror being that targets sleepers, sometimes described as strangely featureless. Even if that picture is simplified, it fits one recurring theme: the Ulu is less a character and more a pressure. So if you lived by lamplight, with long nights and thin walls, the Ulu gave language to a specific dread. Sleep turns hostile, and you feel occupied. What can we prove? We can prove the name Ulu was part of a real technical vocabulary. It appears in ritual texts where demonic oppression is treated like a condition with steps: identify, recite, counter, cleanse. We can also prove that, in Ludlul bel nēmeqi, Ulu language sits next to sensory failure and paralysis like immobility, a blend of wakefulness and helplessness that reads like a lived night experience, not a fairy tale. We can even see the Ulu inside the logic of blame. In anti-witchcraft material, the speaker frames the attack as something a human enemy caused, and hurls the same affliction back at them. That's a window into how these cultures linked night terror to social conflict, jealousy, accusation, suspicion. What we can't prove is the easy modern shortcut, Alu equals sleep paralysis. Some scholars warn the match is tempting but too neat. Ancient descriptions mix illness, divine anger, and ritual categories in ways that don't map cleanly onto one diagnosis. And the poem itself is tricky. Many think it's late 2nd millennium in origin, but the evidence doesn't let us pin a precise composition date with certainty. So here's the honest take. The Alu is an ancient label for a cluster of fears that still feel familiar: pinned breath, frozen limbs, awake mind, plus a whole ritual system built to push that fear back out. Next episode, we move from one-night terror name to a whole category, the Udug-hul, spirits that can be protective or harmful, depending on the text.